Why is it that the most ruthless people so often rise to the top? The liars, the manipulators, the ones willing to step on anyone in their way. Meanwhile, the kind, the honest, the hardworking, so often left behind. It feels like the game of life is rigged in favor of the worst among us. History shows us emperors who slaughtered their way to thrones, politicians who lied their way into office, CEOs who cut throats on their climb to fortune. And yet, the pattern keeps repeating. Why does the world seem to reward ruthlessness over virtue? Friedrich Nietzsche believed power itself isn't evil. It isn't even good. Power, to him, was simply the raw force of life. If you want to understand why the worst sometimes succeed and how the rest of us can survive in their world, you have to face one of Nietzsche's most disturbing ideas: the will to power. Look around you. Some people chase status, applause, money, the illusion of success. Others build quietly, slowly, without recognition. Nietzsche saw these two paths everywhere, one fueled by shallow comfort, the other by growth, one destined to crumble, the other to endure. History repeats itself. From ruthless emperors like Caesar and Napoleon to modern moguls and politicians, patterns emerge. The powerful rise not because they play fair, but because they embody something deeper, a force that pushes every living thing to grow, expand, overcome, not to rest, not to stay comfortable, but to strive. Nietzsche called it the will to power. And here's the paradox. Those who live only to dominate others burn fast. Empires collapse. Tyrants fall. Manipulators get exposed. The will to power, Nietzsche insisted, is not about cruelty. It's about creation. It's not about crushing others. It's about overcoming yourself. But in our world of comfort and conformity, most of us have forgotten this. We chase safety, approval, convenience. Nietzsche called this the morality of the herd. And while we hesitate, waiting for fairness, those who act boldly, without hesitation, seize power. So the uncomfortable question is this: is morality weakness in the game of power? Are the worst destined to rise, while the good are crushed beneath them? To answer that, we need to dive deeper into Nietzsche's most dangerous idea. Not just power as domination, but power as the very pulse of life itself. In nature, nothing stays still. Everything strives. Plants stretch toward the sun. Animals fight for territory. Rivers carve stone. Life is not content with survival. Life expands. Nietzsche believed human beings are no different. Beneath all our morals, religions, and systems lies the same drive: the will to power, to grow, to overcome, to impose meaning on a meaningless world. This is why suffering, struggle, and even despair are not meaningless accidents. They are tests of strength. Nietzsche's insight is brutal but liberating. Comfort makes us weak. Struggle makes us strong. The worst people often succeed because they are willing to act without hesitation, while others wait for permission. They move decisively. They risk. They grasp power when others cling to fairness. Darwin spoke of survival of the fittest. Nietzsche went further. Life doesn't just survive, it strives. A bird doesn't only eat, it sings. A human doesn't only endure, we invent, conquer, and create. The will to power is a drive behind every great achievement and every collapse. It explains why tyrants rise and why creators endure. Power takes many forms. For the tyrant, it is domination. For the artist, it is creation. For the scientist, it is discovery. The will to power is not limited to politics or business. It is the energy behind everything we call achievement. But here is Nietzsche's warning. Those who reduce power to domination alone, who use it only to crush others, burn out. Their empires collapse. Their names are remembered in infamy. Their power is fragile because it rests on fear. Those who turn the will to power inward, who conquer themselves first, build something lasting. Their power is not taken. it is created. That kind of power can outlast empires. Psychologists today would call this ambition resilience or grit. Studies show that those who rise often share three traits: high ambition, low sensitivity to fear, and a willingness to endure pain. Nietzsche would say these are echoes of the will to power itself. So, why do the ruthless seem to succeed? Because they act when others freeze. But Nietzsche's challenge is not to imitate them. Do not become a tyrant. Instead, master yourself. Redirect the will to power away from domination and toward creation. Power has two paths. One is domination, fast, ruthless, and short-lived. The other is creation, slow, disciplined, enduring. One burns out, the other builds a legacy. Nietzsche even tested this with his dark thought experiment, the eternal return. Imagine you had to live this life, with all its choices, again and again forever. Would your pursuit of power be worth repeating? The question exposes a truth. Not every victory is worth having. Too many of us surrender our power to comfort. We trade growth for convenience. We smother our potential with routine. And while we wait for fairness, those who act boldly, ruthless or not, shape the world. Nietzsche's warning is simple. Morality that comes from fear is not virtue. It is weakness disguised as goodness. And that is why herd morality built on obedience and safety, cannot stop the rise of the ruthless. In fact, it enables them. The herd shames ambition. The herd condemns power. And in doing so, it leaves power in the hands of those who care nothing for morality at all. But Nietzsche does not leave us hopeless. His answer is not to abandon morality or embrace cruelty. It is to transform power into creation, to take the will to power as a force of self-overcoming. True strength is not found in exploitation, but in building new values, in shaping meaning where none existed before. That is the hidden key to strength. If the will to power is the pulse of life, then who masters it most fully? Nietzsche's answer was the Übermensch, the overman, not a tyrant, not a slave, but something higher, an individual who rises above the illusions of morality and comfort, who creates his own values, who lives not for safety, but for greatness. This path is not easy. It demands risk. It demands struggle. It demands that you embrace discomfort, even despair, and transform into strength. The Übermensch does not ask for permission. He does not wait for fairness. He writes his own rules. Nietzsche saw life as a forge. Weakness burns away. Strength endures, and those who dare to enter the fire willingly emerge transformed. The ruthless may rise quickly, but their rule is temporary. They dominate, but they do not create. Their power collapses when fear fades. The Übermensch builds. His power is self-generated, independent of approval, independent of the herd, and that power endures. Look at our world today. Herd morality still rules. Social approval replaces truth. Safety replaces courage. Comfort replaces growth. And people wonder why life feels empty. Nietzsche would say, it is because we have traded the will to power for the comfort of the herd. The only escape is to become who you are, to stop waiting for fairness, to stop expecting comfort, and to embrace the will to power as your guide. This is not abstract philosophy. It shows up in every choice. Every time you choose growth over comfort, courage over fear, creation over hesitation. So here is Nietzsche's challenge. The ruthless may succeed for a season, but only those who master themselves succeed in the long run. Will you rise above the herd, or will you be ruled by it? Here's a challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, choose one moment of discomfort and face it directly. Train when you don't want to. Speak the truth when it's easier to stay silent. Build instead of scrolling. That is the will to power in action. Remember this. Power is not evil. Power is life. The worst succeed because they dare to use it. while the rest wait for fairness. But only those who master themselves truly endure. So, why do the worst people seem to succeed? Because they understand power, while others wait for comfort. But if you master the will to power, not as domination but as creation, you rise above both the herd and the tyrants. If this exploration challenged you, subscribe to the Mirror of Being. Share this with someone who still believes the world is fair. And together, let's continue to uncover the dark truths that wake us up to life.